This is the She Dares to Travel podcast, and I am your host, Raquella Pollock. After spending a decade managing the #1 travel agency in Canada and now working with tourism businesses in risk management, I am here to connect you with women who are taking the travel industry by storm, as well as business professionals with a passion for travel, just like me. We are here to inspire, motivate, and uplift you to not only follow, but plan out your dreams, no matter where in the world they may be. Be sure to leave a review, subscribe, and follow along. Welcome back to the She Dares to Travel podcast, where we share stories of inspirational women from all over the globe. And today's guest is absolutely no exception as we speak with Jennifer Halboth, the CEO of Riverside Luxury Cruises, where these are unique river cruises that I have yet to experience, but it is high on the bucket list, where you can experience Europe from a different point of view, immerse yourself in beautiful cities, and really only unpack once when you go on a trip aboard these exquisite ships with incredible amenities. Jennifer has a long history in the tourism industry, working her way up at the Globus family of brands, and I am looking forward to hearing her journey to the top of river cruising. Jennifer, how are you today?
Thank you for having me. This is awesome and exciting.
I'm so excited to chat with you. You are welcome. The back of your screen looks like you are on a river cruise right now. Is this a fact?
Yeah, I just try and keep it always feeling like I'm on a river cruise because, when you're on a river cruise, things are good, things are chill, life is fabulous. So, but yeah, that's the pop-up bar on one of our ships.
Gorgeous. It like transports me there right now. I absolutely love it.
But really, I'm in Colorado because you probably wonder where I'm really at, but I'm in Colorado.
Wonderful. Have you always lived in Colorado?
No, actually, I grew up in Michigan. Really my whole life in Michigan. But then when I graduated from University of Michigan in 95, made my way out here and have been in Colorado ever since, but obviously traveling a lot in between them.
I bet. Back and forth from there to Europe, imagining.
Lots of Europe.
Lots of Europe. What is one of your favorite things to do in Colorado? I've never been.
Oh gosh, snowboarding, hiking, looking at all the animals. I mean, like where I live up in Evergreen outside of Denver, and you can look outside and see elk and deer. Over the last month, it's kind of a cool thing. I've seen a black fox. Has anyone seen a black fox? An all black fox with a white tail. And then I started doing some digging and finding out also how rare the black fox is, and also how rare it is to see fox during the day. And I saw the black fox 3 times during the day over the last month. So I looked into it, and it's like a signal of being open to challenges and changes and newness and putting yourself out there. So I was like, I'm on board with that.
Yes. I was going to ask what you think the symbolism is behind that, but that is incredible.
Yeah, I dug in right away. I was like, I've seen a fox like this. And I saw it one time before I went to the Asta River Cruise Expo and twice since. So kind of
wow. Cool. That is exactly right. Focus, keep going. Like you're on the right track. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Incredible. So growing up, how did travel impact you growing up? Were you traveling quite a bit as a child, or is it all more as an adult?
I would say more of the heavy traveling as an adult. I didn't get on a plane until I was 10, but I flew out to Oregon to visit my cousin and my aunt and uncle, and road trips to Florida. I mean, when you grow up in Michigan, it's, road trips to Florida, road trips to DC. So I do think that, for a lot of people, especially in the US, a road trip is like your first foray into travel. Right? It really is. And it's still one of my favorite ways to travel because I feel like the minute you get in the car and you got your Twizzlers and you've got all your stuff and you got the tunes playing, you're on vacation, right? So I do love that still as a travel style. But I think a lot of people in the US, that's actually how they start traveling. And I think that how travel impacted me is that, most kids, it's just the way it is. We want to be away from where we are in our daily life, right? And traveling allows you to kind of have that little escape and discover something new. And I think that is probably like the impetus and base for all wanting to travel. And then I think as people grow and whether they have more money or more access, they go further. But it really just comes down to exploring.
So true. And I feel for your friends up here in the north in Canada, we are so similar with the road trips because I grew up on so many road trips everywhere. And you're right, even to this day, it's that feeling of getting in the car and like, okay, here we go. Put on the music, get the window down.
Now, of course, 12 hours in, you're like, are we there yet? But you know what? It's okay because the beginning is so fabulous. And you stop at places, you're like, let's stop at this roadside thing and see what we can get into. And I think that a road trip allows spontaneous exploration almost better than any other travel style.
Very true. Now, did you also go to university or college out that way?
Yep, I actually started at the Kalamazoo College, which is, as we like to say, on the west coast of Michigan. And I did 2.5 years there, studying art history. Then I transferred to the University of Michigan and went there for undergrad business school. So I basically studied business and art history.
Nice. And what was there a reason for the transition from art history into business?
Yeah, what are you gonna do with an art history degree? As much as I loved it and it was a passion, I knew that my job getting out of school was to, be employable, and I had to be on my own. Even though I had great supportive parents, I had to have a job, and I knew that the path to art history might take more schooling to do what I wanted to do. So I just, I was in Michigan Business School is really like one of the best business schools. I probably could never get into it now, but I got into it. So go blue. We got it done this year. But so it really was a very practical decision, but I still took a lot of art history classes, even when I studied business.
Nice. And how did travel come into play with business? Or what was the job even right outside of school? Was it in tourism?
It was in professional sports. Well, first, aside from
Hmm.
waiting tables and stuff,
Mhm.
I moved here. I literally graduated from Michigan, worked for a couple of weeks, went to Europe for 3 weeks, like did the Eurail, like landed in London, down to Italy, up to Austria, Amsterdam, 3 weeks, flew back into Colorado. No job, no place to live, no car, $500 left in my bank account. But
Yes.
I'm like, but I knew
Adventure.
I wanted,
Here we go.
yeah, I wanted to live in Colorado, and I knew I wanted to take that trip. And I'm really glad I did, because I know once you start working, sometimes I think it's more common now, the gap years and the time. But, kind of back then, in the 90s, it was kind of like you graduate, you maybe go somewhere, and then you start working. So I knew I had this small window. And if I went back to Michigan, I knew I wanted to live in Colorado. So I just took a risk and, just went out on an adventure. And my first job was actually truly, after waiting tables, was in professional sports. I worked for the Colorado Avalanche for the first 2 seasons.
Okay.
Right when I
Yeah.
moved to Colorado, they had come from Quebec. They were the Quebec Nordiques, and I grew up on hockey. My dad was a hockey ref. I grew up in Detroit, so hockey was kind of an integral part of my upbringing. I loved it as a
Amazing.
sport, and that actually was my
Mhm.
first job. But while I was there, a woman I went on maternity leave, and I had to, for a couple of months, work with the charter company, pick the meals for the
Mm.
players and work with the charter company. So that, I guess that was kind of my first foray into travel.
Logistics.
Yep, yep.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
And what was your overall role with the Avalanche?
I was in media relations. So
Okay.
I worked with the press.
Mhm.
I, worked with the front office, Pierre Lacroix, the GM, the PR professional. It was really
Yeah.
pretty hands-on, worked on the media guide, but really, I think I fixed the copier. I think I fixed the
Mm.
copier because it broke down all the time trying to do the game notes. Yeah.
I love that. What an experience to go right out of schooling into something so unique, really, really unique, and a passion, even if you will, with hockey and growing up and understanding that to go right into it from school. What an opportunity.
Yeah. No, it was
Yeah.
amazing. I was like, how am I doing this? And it was an unpaid internship. So I waited tables. And
Mhm.
you do that kind of stuff, right? When you find something, you're
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna do this. You do whatever you need to do to make it happen. And it's a great
Yeah.
story. And I love
Mhm.
sports, but I'm much happier working in travel and keeping sports as my hobby.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. So then how did you go from sports in and transition into tourism? What did that look like?
Love the Avs. I went into radio for a little bit.
Mm.
And then I got a job at Airwalk. I don't know if you get an Airwalk. They were snowboarding, boots,
Okay.
skate shoes here in Colorado.
Oh yeah, Airwalk.
And Airwalk,
Yes.
yeah, I worked at
Yes, of
Airwalk.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I stayed on the kind of PR and marketing slant, worked at Airwalk. And then they went out of business and I was unemployed. And I applied for a job at the Globus family of brands. And I started working there in 2003, came in as a marketing manager and stayed there for 19 years and did, marketing, kind of moved my way up, but then moved over into sales and moved over into national accounts. So that's where, really it's the Globus
Mm.
family of brands is where I really like dug in on travel. But actually, I forgot, even before then, I worked at trip.com, one of the early internet travel sites. So
Mm.
that was probably, my first foray into travel, but it was,
Yeah.
online. Whereas I feel like when you work at a company like Globus and Avalon and now Riverside, that's really true travel, right? You're working in the product. So yeah, I had a couple different paths.
Definitely. So it's almost like trip.com, was it? That was
Yeah,
almost like the
trip.com.
bridge. Yeah, the
Yeah.
bridge to get you in. And Globus family of brands, I mean, I worked with them a lot at the travel agency. We had a ton of, the Avalons, the tours they do. There's so much that they offer. I can imagine that job took you places around the world.
I mean, that job changed my life. Honestly, I
Yeah.
was extremely grateful to join that company. Still a great company, just, family owned, just really good, like low ego, amazing people. I learned so much there. And to move from marketing into sales, that's not a, traditional trajectory. I was very fortunate to then, once I moved into sales, get to know a lot of industry peers, go on a lot of different product. Like I had never even been on an ocean cruise until I moved into sales at Globus, So
Yeah.
I just didn't. I did different types of travel, but it really did open so many things to me, and I will be forever grateful.
Well, and they do a lot of, in the travel industry, they do a lot of FAM trips, which are familiarization trips, which essentially are heavily discounted or free. So they can show you the products so you can sell. Did you end up doing quite a few of those in order once you moved into the sales job? And whereabouts did it take you around the world?
Well, I mean, because I was in national accounts a lot. I mean, of course, a
Mhm.
couple sales meetings. We did a
Yeah.
sales meeting in Scotland. We did Italy.
Mm.
We did the, Canadian Rockies. But a lot of what I did once I moved into the national account role, it was host advisors and top producer events. So I did a
Mm.
tour in Spain with, Spain and Portugal with travel leaders. And then I hosted top producer events for travel leaders and signature doing charters on Avalon, which is, I think once I got the opportunity to I'd been in marketing, moved into sales, and I realized I have a little bit of an operational brain too. Not enough to be fully in
Mm.
operations because I like the front of the house too much. But put together a charter for a partner and think about the unique, cool things you can do and to watch everyone come on and have it be their ship. I loved it. I was like, this is fabulous. So I really started to fall even more in love with river cruising during that role.
Mm. And how wonderful is it that we've seen it from all angles, right? You've seen it from the beginning to the sales and then move, of course, as we'll talk about, into operations as CEO now of another river cruise line. So what would you say is, in all those travels that you've done so far, where would be your favorite? I love this question and I hate it because you can never pick a
I
favorite.
know. It's like
I
picking your favorite
know.
child, your favorite song. It's really.
You can't do it. So if you had to suggest, if we narrow down into Europe, one place that you would highly recommend someone to go, where would it be?
All right. So in Europe, right? So you narrowed it down
Mhm.
to Europe. So okay. So I really fell in love with Budapest. I had done a lot of
Mm.
travel. I'd done the Rhine before, done some Danube, but I finally got to Budapest for my first time, really only a couple years ago. So even though I'd been selling river cruise for a long time, well, for what I fell in love with it for is, my heritage now I know is German, Irish, Hungarian, and Polish. And it was the first time I went someplace where I looked around at the women. I was like, oh, you look like me. You are my people. And I just loved how Budapest for me is kind of a linchpin between Eastern and Western Europe. It's raw. It's got cool history. It's kind of funky. I love the two sides. I love the ruined bar area. I mean, it's just cool. So I just felt like Budapest really spoke to me as a place where you could get some kind of refinement in travel and some like gritty discovery in travel, which I really like. So
Mm.
I recommend go to Budapest.
Love that. I've never been. Again, keep
Ah,
putting it on the
yeah.
list. Put it on the list, that list. What's the best thing to see or do when you're there, do you think?
Well, I do. There's a lot of
There's a
history,
lot.
with, World War II and just, everything went down. But it's cool. So there's two sides. So go on the Buddha side and the Pesh side, go to the Parliament building. So it's great. They just have a nice combination of kind of must-sees that you want to see, but also it's a great city to just roam around and see what you get into, which is one of my favorite things to do when
Yeah.
I travel. I mean, I'm very blessed to go on a lot of really amazing trips where I get to see and do a lot. But some of my favorite things are when I just wander around the street. One of the things I always do when I travel, the way I like to support like buying things, is I always try and find a local artisan shop. And you will find it in pretty much
Mm.
a local artisan shop that only carries things from local artisans. And I've gone to the one on the Buddha side twice now. Brought people and my son home things. And I love that because it supports the local economy. It's art, again, art history major. I really like funky, cool things. It's a way to get back to the local economy and then have something unique. So I just like to wander around.
Great idea. Get lost in a city you can't pronounce the name of. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know where I'm at. Hopefully someone can come get me now.
Yeah.
You can always find your way back to a river cruise. You where's the water? Go down there and then take a right or left, depending on where your ship is. That's how you get back to your river cruise.
That's a great tip. Yeah. That's a really good one. I love it. And it's one of those things where I totally agree with you. Getting lost in a city is something so special. And I sometimes even try to do it at home, even though I know it very well. It's like, why don't I just go left today instead of right that I usually do? Just something different, right? Change it up. Yeah. Now, with all the travels you had, can you peg anything as one of your most daring adventures?
I can't say that really, it's kind of crazy, but I think my most daring adventure was just moving to Colorado right out of school. I mean, maybe since I did that and it felt so scary and everything, like nothing else is, I haven't skydived. I haven't done safari yet. I haven't climbed a mountain. But I think at that point, I think every human reaches a point in their life where they're like, okay, I'm going to do this or do that, and I mean, I took a huge risk. Like I said, there was no guarantee that anything would work out for me in Colorado, even though I wanted to live here. So some people have that moment, I think, earlier in life, some have it later, but whenever it comes to you that you really feel like you're right at that point, whether you're like, can I, I'm a little scared, can I do this? Just trust yourself and do it, because I promise it's going to work out one way or another.
I love that. I feel like people are resilient. So you're right. As soon as you can make that plunge into doing what you need to do, you're going to find a way to make it work and find a way to figure it out. Yeah, that's great advice. Great advice. Speaking of advice, how about the best travel tip you live by, swear by? If it's a product you have to take with you, something. What is it that you would like to share?
I got it. And anyone who knows me and is watching this, carry on only. Carry on only. I do not check. Carry on only. Because your bag is with you, and because honestly, humans do not need to bring all the stuff that they think they need to be when they're traveling. Okay.
Guilty.
You're not at home.
I'm guilty.
I get it. I know. And everyone's asked me, what is it? Oh, I say it's called unemotional packing. You don't get to bring like, oh, I think I want to wear this pair of shoes or that dress. It's like, nope, you are going to bring one pair of black, one pair of nude, pair of comfortable walking shoes, pair of boots if it's winter, wear them on the plane. And just enough clothes to wear. Leave a little room if you want to buy something. Buying clothes when I travel is one of my favorite things because it's always a good conversation starter. Oh, where'd you get that? But we bog ourselves down in life in general. So much stuff. Don't bring your home when you go travel. You're trying to travel. And if you're, playing I've been with people when they've had their luggage lost, but even if your flight gets delayed and you have to go on another flight, your bag's with you. So you are ready to go wherever you're supposed to go. So carry on only. That's my tip.
That is impressive because I am an overpacker. I love my shoes and I'm emotional.
It's always the shoes. It's always the shoes.
Yes.
It's always the shoes.
And then I don't end up wearing them, or I realize I'm like, oh, that's great. I brought sandals and heels. I didn't even bring comfortable runners. What was I thinking? Yeah, right.
Yes.
And I got to go.
You got to bring one category, one for each category of shoes that you really need on the trip.
I'm trying this unemotional packing. I'm going to have to start 3 weeks early. And then every few days I'll have to remove stuff and be like,
oh yeah. And then, if it helps, you just put it out and you just tell, like, you don't get to go on this trip. I'm sorry. I'll bring you on the next trip. They'll be okay. They'll be fine.
Calm down. Okay. I'm going to try it. And I bought I don't know if you have a specific travel on that you need to have like with a special thing, but I just bought one that has like a little coffee cup holder on the back. But it also on the insides has the straps and like a zipper. I've never had that. And I feel like that's really functional and important. Yeah.
Yes. Nope. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. I have had 3 separate bags. Like, in fact, I just donated Rosie. I had to take her she's got the zipper caught and I couldn't get it undone. And I was like, okay, I guess this is time to let Rosie go. But one side it zips, has straps. It's just like, yeah, you can get everything in there and it kind of keeps everything organized.
Is Rosie the bag that you bring with you?
Rosie was my bag and she replaced Big Red.
Perfect.
So
This is so
Yeah.
perfect. I love this advice. This is the best travel
Yeah.
tip. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Next trip, I am definitely gonna try carry-on only. I'm gonna be so stressed. I'm gonna message you and I'm gonna tell you it
You
all worked
please
out
do.
fine.
I will provide you support and let you know it's going to be
Thank
okay.
you. Please, I need it. I will need it. Oh, I love that. So switching gears now to talk about the trips that you go on, to talk about what you do at Riverside Luxury Cruises. I love the idea of a river cruise, and I just would love for you to share what the experience is like, what trips you can go on with Riverside.
Yeah. I mean, so river cruising is still fairly, it's now obviously much more mature than it was when I, started, say, in 2003 selling river cruises. I think a lot more people know about it now, but I think it's still a misunderstood style. So what's great about river cruising is that you get to see and do Europe in a way that is so intimate, so hassle-free, yet so accessible and varied. So you're not just staying in one hotel, and you're not on an ocean cruise where you're kind of going around the outside of Europe. You are on a really intimate ship that has got great amenities, small amount of people, and really every crew on every river cruise ship is amazing. So you have this kind of sense of being at home while you're out on an adventure. And I think that's what's so special about river cruising.
I agree. From what I've heard, from what my mom just went on one last year, from people that have experienced it, it is that feeling of having a home when you're traveling that you can go
Yeah.
back to, that you can still see you're right there. You get dropped off in some of the best spots, best cities, smaller towns that larger cruise ships can't go to.
And
Oh,
towns you
it
wouldn't
looks like
even think of
magic.
going to. I mean,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we all have our list of places we want to be, and guess what? You'll never get through your list.
exactly.
Spoiler alert, you're never going to get through your list. So
Hmm.
good to make a list of things you want to do, move things to the top, and then also let some things unfold because you
Hmm.
also don't know what you don't know until you experience it.
Yeah.
And I think river
Yeah.
cruising facilitates that.
So true. What's the vision, would you say, for Riverside? The next 5 to 10 years, where do you see it? Where you want to see it?
First and foremost, we really want to occupy that top spot and the luxury segment for River Cruise, because that's why the owners got into it. They've owned and operated luxury hotels. They really want to deliver luxury, and they saw that there's a lot of people who have yet to take a river cruise who are luxury because they think a river cruise won't deliver the level of luxury that they're accustomed to and the hotels or resorts they go to. So we want to deliver that. But more important for me, and that hopefully will attract new people to river cruise. But I think it's about going younger, sharing the flexibility, delivering a travel style that you can't get anywhere else, and having people want to come back to us because of the people, because of the food, because we keep things fresh and we are establishing a new luxury. Like everything is relative in this world. What is luxury to you? What is luxury to me? We want to deliver that high level, but we want it to be relaxed and more accessible. We want to be that line that people can just trust to be themselves, enjoy their vacation, meet new people, and come back again and again. I mean, we really want to be known for that. We want to be known for a brand that helps you facilitate who you are and how you want to travel, and not so much just another river cruise line.
And I feel too, with the amount of cruise lines that are out there, river, ocean, they all have their place. They all serve
Everyone has
for
their place.
catering.
Yes.
Yeah, catering for somebody that wants something different. And you could try one and be like, ooh, maybe river cruising isn't for me, but don't count it out because maybe it just wasn't the right ship or the right line to go with. So it's incredible you guys are filling that need for something different. Now, with it being luxury, what type of amenities can you find on board that really stand out?
Yeah, our space and design. I mean, these ships are beautiful. We have a larger average suite size, less people on board. We only put 110 on our 135-meter ship. The other lines range from 150 to 190. We put 110. So then it goes into having space for the guests, whether they're in their room or they're out in the common areas. But then culinary. I mean, at the end of the day, you cannot get the luxury client without top-notch culinary. That's just hands down. And we really do put a huge emphasis on this. And if there's one thing that I feel like in the year and a half since I've been with the company that we have really established, it really is that we are delivering another level of culinary, from cooking, food à la minute, as they say, on demand, having more variety, having more chefs. We bake bread fresh on board. We have homemade pasta. You really notice a difference. And then finally, it's the service, right? We have a butler in every suite. We have a we want service to be personalized. That's why we have a butler, and it's not about everyone doing the same thing. It's about you choosing how you want this river cruise to be for you and having intuitive service. And then other things that obviously fall into the luxury set. We have spa services on board. We have an indoor pool. We have bikes on board. All the ways in which a luxury client would want to explore on their vacation, we want to make sure that we cater to.
I've heard too that a lot of the chefs will take local groceries from the town that's being visited to even use on board to really cater and elevate that experience too.
Yeah.
So good.
Yep. That's very common
So
across
good.
a lot of the lines. But because we have a larger galley, we can really, we've got a lot of cool stuff on it. And like I said, we make the bread fresh, but that is the whole point of, like, you'll see the menu on our, South of France cruise is going to be different than when you're up on the Danube or on the Rhine. But we're always going to have some standards that you can always get to, because we know that palate is personal. And even if you're out and you're kind of curious or explorative with cuisine, sometimes you just want to get a good Caesar salad if you need it, or a good piece of filet mignon, and call it a day.
So what places, you mentioned a couple places that you can go to. Can you go on these cruises, and what time of year is the best, would you say?
Well, that's a very good question too. So we have 3 ships that are sailing. So we have the Mozart, which is on the Danube. Now the Mozart is a wider ship. And so because it's a wider ship, it's great because there's extra space, but it also means it's confined to a segment of the Danube. It can only go from Passau down to into the Iron Gates. And so all on Vienna, Budapest, lots of different itineraries that way. We just launched and christened the Debussy with the amazing godmother, Allie Pierce, when we were in Amsterdam. And the Debussy will do tulip time and then get down onto the Rhine, the Mosel, and then also go into some Danube, and we'll continue and do Christmas markets on the Rhine. The Mozart will do Christmas markets on the Danube. And then we have the Ravel, which is in the south of France. So it will do Rhone up into the Saône in some times of season. So those are all very different experiences. And there's really no ideal time to say you can go. I think for a lot of people, going in more off season, getting in there in late April, early May, going in mid-October to early November is a great time. Just naturally there's going to be less people, but Europe is really hot. So, in terms of people wanting to go there. But then Christmas markets is really cool for people who want to do tulip time, right? It's a small window to do that. It's like right now, the Kuchenhof is only open for 6 to 8 weeks, depending. And to catch that part of Europe as it's coming to life, that's really intriguing, but you have to be a little more open with, maybe it's rainy, maybe it's a little colder. So it's kind of just, what is your travel preference? Me being in Colorado, I don't say that I travel for the weather, even though we get snow here, we get a lot of sun, and I live in a place of great weather. So I'm always up for the adventure of what I get is what I get. But yeah. And if you want to see castles versus vineyards versus you're more of a foodie person or more of a historical person. There's a lot of different ways you would choose a river cruise, but anyone you choose, you're not going to go wrong. You're going to love it.
You're going to love it. Exactly. Cruising has come so far. How long has river cruising been around for? Do you know?
Oh gosh. Biking and Uniworld have really been out there the longest. I'd have to say 30 plus years. But I would have to say that the more modern river cruising that everyone's kind of come to expect, it's really grown up over the last 20 plus years and really evolved and really changed and become more mainstream, just in the sense that people know about it, but there's still so many people that don't know about it. So there's still so much opportunity and growth. And for those of you who have yet to take your first river cruise, I hope this podcast helps you realize gosh, maybe it's time. I think it's time.
Yeah. What would you say the biggest opportunity or area for improvement would be for cruises? Is there something you've seen over the years with working in this industry? Because of course it's evolved so much in 30 years. Where do you see the opportunity is in the next 30?
Well, I think, it's a combination of cruising and just travel. I think that the more and more that the travel styles that we put forth to people just kind of help them integrate into their, it's not I'm only going to do this thing once. It's like a pie in the sky dream. I'm going to have this one experience. I think that cruising and travel and everything is going to be more integrated into our daily life. I think we've seen the change already. Once upon a time, it was you work, you retired, you took a couple trips, you died. like, we don't really want that
Yeah.
equation anymore. And then our generation grew up, you're younger than me. But we grew up with a little bit more, travel. And once I started traveling in my 20s, I went to more places than, my mom ever did in her 20s. And I think we're all going to keep evolving to the point where it's not going to be like, oh, do you travel? Of course you travel. Like, it's just, how do you travel and how often? And I like to see it all. And that's where the flexibility comes in. River cruising got a lot more flexible in the last 20 years. Before it started, it was a little bit more like everyone went to the same ports. You did one sightseeing tour, bam. And then they realized that people wanted to come back and they didn't want the same thing all the time. And I think that that's actually the greatest opportunity for all travel styles, is just to facilitate someone making a choice and enjoying their trip, enjoying your brand the way they want. And, having it feel more like, gosh, I just got to explore and do exactly what I wanted, and not, have it be so regimented.
And the variety, you're bang on with the variety. There's so much opportunity. And even for the amount that they've already introduced, I bet there's more hidden gems that are going to be found.
Oh, yeah.
They'll
And
continue adding and adding.
Introduce new ports or try an excursion, and then people like it. But depending on who your target is, some people are going to like some things, not others. And so there should always be variety across all the lines.
Very true. With being a seasoned travel professional, and as you mentioned, you've seen it all when it comes to working in a company, especially for 19 years at Globus. What is it like moving into the operations role and brain and CEO, and how did that come to be for you?
Well, it came to be, there was a gentleman by the name of Burkhart Lell, who was the managing director at Avalon, and he parted ways with Avalon during COVID. He started doing some consulting for the parent company, Seaside Collection Hotels. And the owners knew that if they really wanted to make a push into river cruising, North America, and specifically US, is real. I mean, it really drives the volume, the train. It's where the clients that are most open to, doing it a lot, live. So, he asked him, like, hey, bring some people to the table. And, I interviewed, and I never thought I would leave, Avalon. I really didn't. But again, back to leaving Michigan with no job, no car, no money in my bank account.
Nothing could be scarier. Nothing could be scarier.
I took a leap because, you just don't get opportunities like that. And sometimes you have to feel the fear, do it anyway. And I'm grateful to do it. It's been really amazing building a team, trying to work with advisors and stand for something and say, hey, this is how we're unique, while still respecting our peers and competitors. I mean, they've been at it for so long. They're amazing. But just to, try and create something new and give people an avenue to, try, either whether it's working on the team and, take like Kelly Brown, who is my Western director. She was never a frontline sales director, but I was like, hey, I think you could do this. And I like the way your brain and your spirit works. So trying to be unconventional and unique. And we're not going to be for everyone, and that's okay, because all of us are for someone.
Well, that's really well said. Really well said. Was there a moment of doubt for you when that role came up?
Yeah, I actually tried to not take the job.
Though it happens.
Okay, but kind of talked myself out of it on a road trip back from Michigan. And everyone, we get a little imposter syndrome, and you don't want to leave something that is comfortable and that and I think that's what holds a lot of us back. We fight so hard. Like, look, I mean, I had so many different jobs in my 20s and nothing long term until I got to Globus. And so then to turn around and leave that when you have some level of comfort, it's scary. And there's no guarantee. But there's no guarantees in life anyway. And so I'm really grateful that I worked through it.
Good for you. Was there any specific moment or thought or practice that you went through that helped get you to the yes?
Well, yeah, I mean, back to, I talked to Burkhart, who had put my name in, and, he asked me, he was probing, well, what is it, Jen? Why aren't you going to do it? And I kind of shared a few things, oh, well, timing and this and that. And he looked right at me and he said, Jen, don't make yourself small. And I was like, okay. And that's my tip to everyone. Don't make yourself small, and whatever you choose to do. I mean, there's only so many people are going to be wildly famous and wildly wealthy. It's really not the end game. It's really about finding your unique, authentic path and being in a place where you can be your true, authentic self. I mean, that is actually why I took the job. The fact that I'm selling river cruises, amazing, right? Really grateful, amazing style. But it was even this Asta River Cruise Expo when I went this time, and I had advisors come up to me and say things that actually made me tear up and kind of reminded me of my purpose. The purpose we have is to all help each other and to help each other find a path, be happy with who you are. And that means it looks different for everyone. And so that's what I appreciate most about being in this role. I'm so proud of my team. I hope they're out there being their authentic selves. And that's what I'm trying to do.
I love it. It made me tear up a bit actually right when you said that, because that hits home and it really does. And I know that imposter syndrome has been a conversation that many women have talked about, but I also know it's a conversation many don't talk about. And I've had women that are on a few upcoming episodes and we speak about it, and it's something where we don't talk about it enough, but so many people have it. Men can have it, women can have, anyone can have it. It's just, we don't talk about what it means. And when that little, I call it like the little creepy voice that just comes up and is like, whoa, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Right. But it's true. And I think that's such great advice. And no matter who your mentors are, it's so important when you have that opportunity to be able to go to those people whose voice matters to you, so they can help you see things in a different way and find another perspective, which it sounds like he did for you. And I'm sure you guys, continue to talk still to this day, because he still has a hand in Riverside, right?
He does some things, but kind of behind the scenes with like deployment and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm eternally grateful. It was just a point in time, and his support meant a lot. And that's the thing is, when those things happen, you don't need the support of everyone. You need kind of sometimes the support of one person. And then just know when you start, don't feel like you're going to get the support of everyone when you start on something. It doesn't work that way. You have to just go, I got this. But the more you stay true to what your vision is, your authentic self and your true, like, joyful spirit, if you really are making decisions based on those things, in time, other people will gravitate towards that, and they'll be like, hey, I want some of that. And that's really all that's really all we're looking for in this world. A little bit of joy, fun, adventure, and inclusiveness. And that's what we're about at Riverside.
It sounds like an incredible place to work from what you guys have done and what you're cultivating. I'm really thrilled to see where you guys continue to grow and hopefully get on one of your cruises sometime very soon. And
let us know. We'd love to have you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I love that advice. I think that's a great way to end things off. Where can people find more about the company, you? Where can they go?
Yeah, you can find us at riverside-cruises.com. If you're a travel advisor, it'd be /TA. You can find us at Riverside Luxury Cruises NA. So it stands for North America, on Instagram and Facebook. You can reach out to me directly, but I definitely encourage those of you out there who are travelers to use a travel advisor. Just like I talked about with our river cruise, like going on a river cruise, you don't know what you don't know. Travel advisors know maybe what you don't know and can help you get on a path of more discovery and better traveling and better memories.
I'm a firm advocate of travel agents. I know how much they do. I know how much they work. And my biggest advice is just find one you like. If one doesn't work for you, don't cancel them all out. Go find another one. There is one out there for you. So
absolutely.
Thank you again so much for your advice, your inspiration. I am, again, thrilled to see where you guys are going to go. So I really appreciate your time today. Thank you to our sponsor, Kentucky Holidays, with tours being operated all over the world for travelers 18 to 35 years old. You can also save $100 Canadian off your next trip on kentucky.ca when you use the promo code SHEDARES. That's all one word. And speaking from experience, I have traveled on these tours and I've met lifelong friends because of it. Happy travels. If you like this episode, please subscribe, download a few more, and leave a review. I really would love to hear from you, what you enjoyed and what your key takeaways were. And of course, please let me know if there's any aspect of the travel industry you want me to talk about next. You can also search for the hashtag SheDaresToTravelPodcast on Instagram and comment on the episode's post with your questions. I'd love to answer them all for you guys. I hope you enjoy your day, stay so well, and until next time, fly straight.